Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a great day. Today, we have a lot of interesting topics to talk about when it comes to the 720S versus the 750S. Which one should you buy? What is a better bang for your buck? Also, what is a better car? It's really a hard one because on one end of the spectrum, the 720S, you can get such good deals on them now, depending on how new it is, of course. The 750S, when I'm looking at it, the upgrades can look subtle on one end of the spectrum, and then on the other end, it can look wildly different. We're gonna go in depth on this today. Is it leaning towards 765 or 720S? It's a hard one, but it's fascinating. It's so fascinating to me because I love these cars. The 720S is such a fast car. Let me backtrack a bit because I've had so much fun with the 720S. One of our feature reviews did a really good job highlighting how good the 720S is as an everyday supercar, because when you look at it, it's a vehicle that can do everything well. It can accelerate extremely fast. It blew away the competition when it first came out. Look at the 488 GTB. It couldn't touch it. Ferrari had to come out with the F8 Tributo after the Pista came out to try to be competitive again with McLaren. The key attributes that made the 720S so fast is that A, its aerodynamics, B, how much power it makes, and C, just how versatile it really is. It's a car that you can drive every day on the street with the hydraulic suspension links. It can be extremely smooth with the dampening, because it doesn't use conventional roll bars. This is Formula One type stuff right here. It also can become extremely stiff and responsive for racetrack performance, versus what I have in my McLaren 600LT. It's more of a conventional damper setup with the suspension. It feels luxurious, like an actual luxury vehicle to drive around. It won't beat you up by any means. You can put the spoiler down and have a sleek body design driving on the highway. Then for the racetrack, raise that rear spoiler and put in track mode, have at it, because you can instantly change all the transmission settings, the tuning for the suspension, everything can change like that. The car itself is, I think, the ultimate example of a supercar that is form follows function, or designed by the air. You look at the side profile, do you see any big air intakes that are from a conventional, like stereotypical mid-engine supercar? No. Everything is hidden away perfectly because they realize that they can channel the airflow from the front of the car, pull it over the canopy in the middle of the cabin, down the sides of the doors, basically creating 3D skin that is wrapping towards the outside of the car, shielding that airflow. What I love about it is that the technology with the active rear spoiler, first introduced with like the MP412C, allows for the DRS effect that you see in F1, where on a straightaway it'll lower all the way down for max acceleration because there's the least amount of drag. Then you get to a braking zone. You're going full throttle, very fast. You hit the brake pedal, the spoiler shoots up, creating an air brake effect with the air. Then for the corner, it'll go to a middle ground position to give you downforce. It's really fascinating stuff. I mention all this because all these attributes help to make the 720S so fast. Finally, the engine itself, with the turbochargers, the car comes off like it's severely underrated with power. These cars can put down 700 wheel horsepower for these cars. You wouldn't have expected it. Combine everything I just said with a carbon fiber tub, that is what makes the 720S so good. The question is, how do you improve upon it? Well, what do? We saw tons of really big upgrades with the 765LT. I'll show some clips of our main reviews here right now. This car took that car to the next level. This is like a hypercar for the road. The acceleration, I mean, this is a low 9-second quarter mile street car. I've been to Laguna Seca with guys putting down 127 lap times with a stock 765. It's that fast. I've seen 765s go 119 at Big Willow. The key attributes that made it faster are that it uses a brand new transmission setup, 15% lower gears, also 10% faster gear changes. In comparison, the standard 720S has longer gearing, which allows it to go 220 miles an hour almost. The 765LT also has upgraded internals, newer pistons, new gasket, new fuel injection, upgraded cooling, a lower curb weight by shaving the excess, a 20% larger rear spoiler, front louvers to relieve high-pressure air out of the front wheel arches to reduce front-end lift at high speed, more downforce all around, approximately 25% more downforce. In total, they change approximately 30% of the parts. Okay, now let's look at the 750S in comparison because I'm stunned. You gotta answer this question. Please answer this question for me in the comment section down below. Is the 750S more 720S or is it more 765? Let me explain the thought process, the reasoning behind this right now. Because, well, the upgrades are much more similar to a 765 than a 720S. First and foremost, we talked about transmissions and gearing with the 765. Well, this car also has 15% lower gears. It also has 10% faster gear changes than a 720S. What about the internals of the engine? Well, it also has new pistons. It has a new head gasket, new tuning, a new fuel injection system, upgraded cooling, a 20% larger rear spoiler. It shaves 66 pounds off the curb weight. It has front louvers on the front fenders that relieve high-pressure air to reduce front-end lift. This is looking very familiar, isn't it? Lastly, it has more downforce, approximately 5% more downforce. It has a 6mm wider front track, just like the 765. I think a lot is making sense when you look at the details. To be competitive with a 296 GTB, you need to have a car that is extraordinarily fast. The 296 GTB Ferrari has over 800 horsepower. McLaren needs to throw everything they have at beating the 296 GTB. Remember that I asked you a question earlier? Where does this car sit in the lineup for McLaren? Is it closer to the out-of-production 720S or is it closer to the out-of-production 765 LT? I cannot wait to get this car to share with all you guys what it can do on the racetrack. Trust me, we'll put it up against these cars. We're gonna find out how fast it really can be. From what it sounds like, the performance jump should be unreal. McLaren understands how important weight is, speed, and balance. Those three things, in my opinion, are critical to having a fast track car. Because without low weight, your vehicle will go through consumables too fast. The lighter a car is, the more you can feel it. The more power you have, the faster you can go. Then with the more balance that you have, the more predictable the car can be. Balance can relate to downforce, aero, also suspension feedback. These elements are critical to me. I will find out if it's worth the price. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this quick comparison video. From my time driving the 720S, I just think that it's a very balanced car. It's very fast, though a lot of complaints were focused on the rear end not having enough downforce for high-speed deceleration. This is something that the team looked into for the 750S, where they increased the rear end total surface area for the spoiler, for the air brake. They're claiming that they have reworked the balance to ensure that the car feels more stable. I think that they have probably fixed some of those concerns that they really heard with the 720S. Secondly, when you get out of the 720S, you don't really ask yourself for more acceleration. If you're in the market, it's such a good buy. It really is. The 750 is going to give you new technology with upgrades that we know and love from the 765. That is what it's looking like. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It really does help me out. And subscribe for much more great content coming out your way. I'll see all of you in the next episode.